Hello everyone! In this video, I will show you the concept of pagination in Elasticsearch, specifically focusing on deep pagination. Imagine you have 100,000 documents stored in an index. How do you efficiently retrieve the information you need? This is an important question because attempting to fetch all documents at once can be inefficient and slow. Pagination comes into play here, allowing you to retrieve data in smaller chunks. This approach enhances the performance and efficiency of your system. Users will benefit from a quicker search experience, and if you are utilizing Elasticsearch in the cloud, pagination proves to be cost-effective. This image illustrates how pagination appears to users. Here you can change the size of data that you want to get. For example, each request will get you just 25 documents, but if you want to get the subsequent documents, you can click on the next button to retrieve the next batch of data. This is just an example, but if you want to read more about this, please check this Medium article. In Elasticsearch, there are two primary methods for implementing pagination. From size, this method is commonly used for paginating smaller datasets, and the search after method, which is better suited for larger datasets. Let's start with the from size method. In this index, the from parameter indicates where Elasticsearch should begin fetching documents, while the size parameter specifies how many documents to return. If from is set to 0 and size is set to 8, we will retrieve the first 8 documents from the index. If we change from to 5, Elasticsearch will skip the first 5 documents and start retrieving from there. Note, this method is not usable if you have more than 10,000 documents in your index, because it demands significant memory for deep pagination. Each time documents are skipped, performance slows down, making this approach unsuitable for larger indexes. Now let's explore the search after method. For this method, each document must include a sortable field, such as a document ID or a timestamp. You begin by setting the size parameter, and Elasticsearch returns the first 8 documents along with corresponding sort values. For subsequent requests, these sort values are used to skip documents, and at the end, you get the new sort values. You keep doing these subsequent requests until you reach the last documents. Then Elasticsearch will not return to your source values, and this is how you know how to stop making requests. Note, the search after method does not have the same 10,000 documents limit and does not require the from parameter. The results returned by Elasticsearch must be sorted by the sortable fields. The search after method relies on a pointer derived from the sort values of the last document from the previous page. This is how it knows how to skip documents. Finally, this method eliminates the need to skip documents, making it efficient for large indexes. So we have seen the pros and cons for each method. Now I would like to benchmark both of them to determine which one performs better. And here is what I did. So I tried to retrieve 10,000 documents by using the following parameters. Size was set to 200 and I made 50 iterations. And here are the results. In the first graph, the from size method is represented in blue, while the search after method is in orange. The graph reveals that as we attempt to retrieve deeper documents, the response time significantly increases for the from size method, whereas the response time for the search after method remains relatively stable. In the second plot, we compare the distribution of response times. The histogram shows that the search after method consistently delivers faster response times, clustered around 2 and 5 milliseconds, while the from size method displays a broader range of response times, peaking at 16 milliseconds. This suggests that search after offers more predictable and superior performance for pagination. I also tried to compute some statistics from those graphs, and they confirm that the search after method is the preferred pagination method because, as you can see, the average time is very small. You can see that the variation is very small also, but here you can see that this is the minimum value and maximum value for the from size method, and you can see that the performance degrades. This is what I show in the second table. You can see that the performance is calculated like this. We take the last page time and we divide it by the first page time. Basically, we take this response time at the last iteration and we divide that by the first time. Technically, we should take the maximum value and divide it with the minimum value, but I mean, we have some variation. But as you can see, even when doing that, we get a 3 times degradation for the from size method, while for the search after method, we don't get that much degradation. So it's more stable. And here, the problem with the from size method is that we cannot go past 10,000 documents. So imagine with me if you have 100,000 documents and you try to retrieve all those, the performance degradation will be even worse. This is why Elasticsearch doesn't allow you to go past 10,000 documents while using the from size method. Now let's go to VS Code to see how to implement this and to see how to make the benchmark. This is how I generated these plots, and I will show you how to do that also. Open notebook number 18. If you want to read more about the search after method, click on this link. And if you want to get the notebooks, please, you will find a link in the video description that will take you to GitHub. There you can clone the repository to get all these materials. After that, connect to Elasticsearch, and here we are going to prepare the index. This is very important. I told you that to be able to use the search after method, you need to have either a timestamp or an ID or any other field that will help you sort the documents. So here I have them both. A timestamp is a date, and here these 3 values are going to contain the contents of each document. So we will have a value, a category, and a description. Finally, I have the ID. Here you can specify these things. So if you want to force the number of shards to be 1 and number of replicas to be 0, you can do that. If not, you can just remove this. It is not that important. So let's create the index. So here I am deleting it, and then I create it one more time. And here I make sure to pass the mapping. Now we will generate 100,000 documents. Basically, here we are generating fake data. As I told you, we will have 3 fields: category, value, and description. So we are taking these documents, but I have a method that will change the value automatically. You can see that the value will change. So we will take for example, 200, and we will add a random value to it, just to have random documents in the index. So here we are copying the documents, we are adding the ID and the timestamp. This is very important because we don't have these 2 values in the documents in this list. So let's generate those documents. You can see that it says generated 100,000 documents. That's great. If you want to increase the value, you can do that just by changing this number. Now let's index these documents. Remember, whenever you want to make a lot of API calls or a lot of operations that are going to be sequential, use the bulk API. This is what we are doing. So here you can see that the operation that we are going to perform is index, and we are going to put the document inside the index name. We have this value on top when we created the index, and after that we just specified the fields. Let's do this. You can see that it took roughly 3 seconds. If you don't do the bulk API and you just use a for loop and index each document separately, that will take a lot of time. And here you can see that when we print the errors, it says false, which means that all those operations were successful. Now let's refresh. Basically, refresh tells Elasticsearch that, hey, the index has changed, it has new documents. Because if you don't do this, count might return 0 to you. Now it returns that we have 100,000 documents. That's great. Now we can start with the pagination methods. Let's start with from size. To use this method, you basically specify 2 parameters, from and size. So here we are starting from the first document, and retrieving just 10 documents. And here we want to sort the documents by the ID as well as the timestamp. But you can, if you want to use just the ID, you can do that. Okay, you can see we are now when we print the hits, which is basically the documents that we got back, you can see that they are indeed sorted by the ID. And you can see that we started from the first document, which has the ID number 0, and we arrived at the 10th document. If I come here and skip the first 10 documents, you can see that we start from the 11th document. So this is how you use the from size method. So this is what I did in the second cell. Basically, I changed the from to 10. Now let's see how to use the search after method. It's similar. So you can see that we don't use the from parameter, but we use the size parameter. And here again, you need to sort the values. Here, this is very important for the search after method. You have to have a field that will allow you to sort the documents. And as I told you in the slides, alongside the ID and the other fields, you get something called sort values. You can see that here, the sort values in our case is the timestamp and ID, and this is what we are getting back. We are getting the timestamp and the document ID. This is how we use the search after method. Now to get the next batch, you use the sort values for the last document to be able to get the next one. This is what I am doing here. You can see that I am taking the hits list, I am retrieving the last document, and I am getting the sort value. Let me just print this for you, just to see how this looks like. You can see that I will take this value, I will feed it to the search after method, and it will return to me the next batch of documents. Okay, so now we have a difference. We have size, we have source, but we have a new parameter, which is search after. And what do we give it? We give it the source values for the last document. Now, you can see that the last document has this ID, document 9, but now you can see that the first document is the next one, which is document 10. Okay, good. So now we have seen how to use the from size method as well as the search after method. Now let's do the benchmark. The benchmark is simple. We will try to retrieve all documents, so we will start from the first index, which is 0, or from the first ID, which is 0, and we will stop whenever we get the last document. And we will do this in iterations. You can see that here, the page size is 100. We will change this value later. And the maximum pages, which is the number of iterations, is 50. So you multiply these values to get the total number of documents that you will get. Here, I have 1050. And if I try to run this, I need to run the previous cell, it gives me an error. Why? Because if you take 1000 and multiply it by 50, that will give you 50,000 documents, which is larger than 10,000 documents. And this is what I said to you in the slides. Elasticsearch will not allow you to go past 10,000 documents if you use the from size method. But if I change the value from 1000 to 200, this will work. If you take 200 and multiply it by 50, it will give you 10,000, which is the limit. We are good. Now let's see what we have inside this method. You can see that it is simple. We are basically using the from and size parameters to get the documents. And on each iteration, we are calculating the response time, and we are adding that to this timings list. And finally, we return that list to be able to make the plot. So this is what we have done. Now we have a list of response times. We will use this to be able to generate those plots. Now let's do the same thing for the search after test. This one is going to be a little bit different. So we can see that we have the same parameters, which are page size and number of iterations. Again, we have the timings list, but here we will add a new variable, which is search after, because here we don't have the from parameter. So we need to use the source values to be able to make subsequent requests. For the first iteration, we will not add the search after parameter to the body because we don't have these sort values. You can see here that we are going to make the search operation, but without the search after. Now, we have made the first request. Now we can take the last document and take the sort values from it and put that inside the search after variable. Now, in the second iteration, search after will not be equal to none. it will have a value. And now we can add that to the body dictionary. And we pass that to the search method. And now this is how we get batches of documents with the search after method, even though we don't have the from parameter. And at the end, we basically return the timings list. Okay, so let's do this. Now we will plot the two lists to be able to compare the two methods. You can see that the from size method becomes worse than the search after method when you want to retrieve deeper documents. But at the beginning, both of them are not that bad, so you can use both of them. But on general, the search after method is perfect for all cases. You can see that the response time does not vary a lot. And this is what we can deduce from the first plot. Now let's calculate some statistics. You can see that here we are calculating the average, maximum, and minimum times for each method. And after that, we can plot the histogram. You can see that here we have, here basically these values will change because each time you run the system, it will give you different values. But generally, the search after method is the best. Let's compute the performance degradation. Here it says 0.9 and 0.52. We arrived at the end of this video. I hope that you found it interesting and informative. Please, before leaving this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.